Hey everybody, what's up? Kevin here from the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be doing a band review for all the panheads out there. It's a band review, my band review, on Skillet. Alrighty, so for those of you who are unaware of how our band reviews work, this is how I do them. First, I'm going to go through my own personal history with the band, when I started listening to them, how I've gotten into them, how I still listen to them, and where they stand with me at this very moment. Then I'm going to go through each of their albums, gonna give you a take of how their music sounds and, kind of that stuff, album by album. However, this one I'm going to do a little bit differently just because with Skillet, there's a little bit of a different way I'm going to do it. I'll tell you why when we get to that point. Then I'm going to give you my favorite and least favorite part about the band. Then fourth, I will go into my favorite song. I'll tell you why. And last but not least, I will tell you what my rating is on a scale of 0 to 10. Of course, 0 being the worst, 10 being the absolute best. Don't worry, I'll tell you why. Now, if the sound kind of sounds a little different, please note that this is a brand new location for me because I just moved. So if it echoes a little bit, please tell me because I'll try and find a way to remedy that sound at any given point. But enough with that, let's just get on into it. Alrighty, so my backstory with the band doesn't really start until about 2017. Now this is when I was just getting out of college and before I started the whole My Song of the Day project, but I was starting to listen to a little bit more music, and I kind of stayed away from Skillet mostly beforehand because I associated them with Christian rock music. Now, I grew up as a grade school and in middle school and high school in a parochial school, private school, Catholic school. So a lot of times, especially when I was younger, if there's any music that was played, rock music, it was Christian rock music at those schools. And I always equated it with something that I could not stand. So when I thought Skillet, Christian rock music, I just couldn't stand it myself. That all changed when I heard Monster for the first time. I thought, wait, this is more hard rock than it is any kind of Christian rock, and it doesn't really have those heavy Christian overtones. So I'm kind of here for it. Started listening to more music, and then I really got hooked when I heard Not Gonna Die for the first time, because that went right on my workout playlist instantaneously, and I was hooked right then and there. Now, I've been listening more and more as time has gone on, and I do listen to some of their songs, not a lot of them, but I do listen to some of them. And I think this was back in March 2019. I did go see them live for the first time, and they opened up for Breaking Benjamin, Under Oath opened up for Skillet, so Skillet was in the middle, and Skillet easily stole the show with John Cooper's energy. The band just had this great energy about them, and they brought the entire place up, and now I was even more so into them. I do plan on seeing them when they come to Summerfest in July 2019 here in Milwaukee. And as I make this video, they recently announced their Victorious album, which is coming out with their single Legendary. And I've listened to it, and that kind of was the inspiration behind doing the Skillet review. Alrighty, so now enough of my backstory, let's get on into the music. And I'm going to start out with everything before Collide. So I'm going to clump that together and then go from Collide as an album by album basis. Now, why am I clumping everything from before Collide together? Because there was much more Christian rock oriented than it was beforehand. I mean, you think of Christian rock music, you're going to think of everything that was before Collide. Songs like Hey You, I Love Your Soul are definitely on this part. Now, the band kind of got a little bit more of an electronic feel with the introduction of the keyboard when Corey Cooper, John Cooper's wife, joined the band, so it kind of mixed up a little bit in there. But again, they had a lot of heavy Christian overtones, heavy Christian influences, and it's something that those first couple albums really kind of put together. But then Collide came out in 2003, and that's where we're going to start going album by album. So Collide comes out in 2003, and the band has a little bit of a shift going on here, mostly because they are going with a more hard rock sound and kind of going more towards that than sticking with that Christian rock bass. They're trying to mix the two together. Now, that's something very similar to what Payable on Death or POD was doing at that time, and the band even said that that was who they were influenced by to do this. POD with songs like Alive and Here Comes the Boom, so they were right around that time as well. I thought that when Skillet really went towards a more hard rock sound on songs like Savior and My Obsession, they did a fantastic job, and I was like, okay, I'm a little bit more into it. They had heavy Christian rock influence and heavy Christian rock overtones, and as I looked at the rest of the album, it was still very much Christian rock. So of course, I'm not really into that. It really kind of just dragged on. Not only that, but the song length on a lot of these songs was very long and drawn out, so I thought, this really wasn't for me, but I could definitely see a change into more of a hard rock sound at some points in time. So Comatose comes out in 2006, and this is where the band really started to gain a lot more traction within the mainstream. Now, I listened to the whole entire album a couple of times, and the majority of their songs, in my opinion, were more soft Christian rock based. Songs like Yours to Hold and The Older I Get. Not only that, but they did have this huge like Christian youth ministry vibe to them. And that's coming from me, especially when I was in middle school, listening to all the Christian youth ministry music that I was not necessarily a very big fan of. But when the band went completely harder, I was there for it. I mean, when they went on songs like Comatose and Rebirthing, holy crap, they went hard. They kind of just stuck with it. The strings gave it a more anthemic feel, and let me tell you that I was there for it, especially when I heard Rebirthing for the first time because I listened to my Amazon Echo and I just asked to play Comatose because I want to listen to the song Comatose. And it just played the album. The first song it was Rebirthing. I thought, now I am here for this. This is fantastic. Let's go. I was just jazzed up for it. So I thought this was a album that was mostly Christian rock based, but when the band went that hard rock sound that was a lot less Christian oriented up front, they did a fantastic job, and that's what I was hoping to hear more of. So, Awake comes out in 2009, and it is very similar to what Comatose has going for it, where its majority of the songs are much softer Christian rock based. Songs like Don't Wake Me and One Day Too Late, they kind of stick with that, and it does get bland at times because I think it's the same stuff over and over and over again. But when the band goes for a more hard rock sound once again, it of course hits. When they go for that straight hard rock sound just consistently in a shorter song like Monster, it works perfectly and it just puts it out there. You get songs that have that hard rock feel but heavy Christian overtones like Hero, which actually work out very well at this juncture. And then you get a song like Awake and Alive where you really see Jen Ledger's first outing with the band and see how it mixes in Awake and Alive. And I thought that was done utterly fantastic. So this is kind of the exact same thing I was thinking of, where you're getting a heavy Christian rock bass, but then you're looking at the rest of the album, it's like you get a couple of songs that are really hard rocks. I'm like, okay, at least we got one more this time. I'm hoping the next album produces the same kind of thing. When Rise came out in 2013, I thought it was, again, a carbon copy of what Awake and what Comatose did, where it stuck with those much softer Christian rock songs. And I just was getting really tired of it. I mean, it just really stuck to in songs like Salvation, Fire and Fury, and My Religion. Now, don't get me wrong, one thing I did like about Fire and Fury was Jen Ledger's vocals were utterly fantastic, and they really did work well there. But I'm just thinking, man, where's this hard rock stuff that I'm really hoping for? When they did go harder, especially in the beginning of the album, I thought they missed the mark on a couple of them. Rise just didn't bring the energy like I know Skillet could, and it just was a real disappointment. Sick of It does have a more anthemic feel, but that really works out in a concert vibe with a lot of people. As a song itself, I'm not the biggest fan of it. But Not Gonna Die is a song that saved this album because it's hard, the strings make it feel anthemic, the vocal differences and comparisons between Jen Ledger and John Cooper are just fantastic. It's a pulse-pounding, hard-hitting song that you can listen to for motivation and when you're just trying to just get it on. So, I'm here for it, and when it comes to Rise, Not Gonna Die is the thing that stands out. I was like, can we get more of this, please? Now, the most recent full release from Skillet at the point of shooting this video is Unleashed, which came out in 2016. Yes, I know they announced Victorious, but that's not coming out till August of 2019. So, this video is coming out May 2019, so yeah, we're not going to really go there. So, of course, it's the most recent full release, I should say. Now, this one broke away from what the others had done so far, where it focused a little bit more on that harder rock aspect, which I thought, this is something I was really feeling. You get songs like Feel Invincible, Back from the Dead, Burn It Down, and The Resistance, which have these hard rock feels and just kind of hide those Christian themes and rock music a little bit in the background more so. And I'm really a big fan of it. But they do still stick with some of those softer rock and softer Christian rock overtones in other songs throughout the album. You listen to a song like Lions, which does that as well, along with Waiting for Comments. Now, that's a song you really want to be careful with because it is soft, it is powerful, especially if you've gone through a breakup or a loss, because, man, let me tell you, it really will bring out some emotion in you. But I can kind of start seeing a shift here where they're kind of going towards a more hard rock feel and kind of just blending those Christian messages into that style. Alright, so I'm not going to end this without talking about Victorious, which is going to be, I believe, their 10th studio album coming out on August 2nd, 2019. They have released one single off of it, Legendary, which is a more experimental but hard rock sound. John and Corey Cooper were the ones that really produced this album, and as Corey Cooper said, they did a completely different thing with the guitar riff at the beginning, which was honestly kind of creative and rather cool. Not gonna lie about that. It creates this hard rock anthemic style, which again, I actually do enjoy. It took me a little bit of time to really get the feel of the song, but I really do enjoy it as it goes along. Now taking a look at the rest of the Victorious album, I know John Cooper has stated that it was going to be a little bit, more hard or harder than the previous releases. Kind of a mix between what Skillet had done and then a mix of what he had been doing with Fight the Fury, that him and Seth had been doing. Now, if that's the case, I mean, I am here for it because that's what I really wanted to hear from Skillet. So we'll see what happens. I definitely will do an album review on it, so if you're watching this after August 2nd, check out our album reviews because I will do one for that album specifically and talk about it like crazy. So, that's their music. Alrighty, so what are my favorite and least favorite parts about Skillet? For my favorite parts about Skillet, I've got two. First is their accessibility. I have yet to see a band that has been more accessible to the fans than Skillet has. And what do I mean by that? Well, Skillet is always on tour. They were basically awarded the hardest working band award in 2010 because they tour rigorously. They tour all the time. They really make it so you can come out and see them play no matter what. I mean, I saw them once this year already, and I plan on going to see them again in the same exact city 3.5 months apart, which is utterly insane, but if they're doing it, I'm there for it. Also, they are very accessible online as well with their social media platforms, especially Instagram. They're one of the best bands to follow on Instagram with all the content they put out there. They also have their own podcast for the band, and John Cooper has his own podcast as well, so you can really get to see how the band functions as a whole behind the scenes, and you can listen to John Cooper's take on a lot of things in life and music. So there's a lot of accessibility there. Not only that, but the energy this band brings is insane. If you've ever been to a concert, they're always bringing all the energy. John Cooper's jumping up and down like crazy. Corey and Seth shred on the guitars. I have yet to see Jen Ledger play though, because when I saw them in March 2019, Jen Ledger was doing her solo tour away from the band, just finishing that up, so I did not see her, so hopefully I get to see her perform with the band in July. Now, the thing I like least about the band is a lot of their songs sound rather bland to me, and as songs that I really don't want to listen to. Now, hear me out though, Panheads, because I know if you're watching, you're probably like, what the hell? But this is what I mean by that. It's a lot of Christian rock music stylings that they have, and that's something about when I was in grade school, middle school, just did not connect with me and really made me, push away from that kind of music. So when I hear it, I just kind of go towards that, and I just kind of want to get away from it. I know you're probably bashing me for it, but that's just what my take is. And also, a lot of times when that happens, your music's going to sound bland. It has like that Breaking Benjamin effect, where with Breaking Benjamin, they stuck to one style and they literally rode that style straight through, which is totally okay. Skillet has done the exact same thing on most of their music, so I kind of dislike that. I mean, I dislike that about Breaking Benjamin as well, as much as I like that about them. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, catch-22, if you will. Alrighty, now time to give you my favorite song by the band, and it's going to be Not Gonna Die. Now, it was between Not Gonna Die and Rebirthing. As much as I like Rebirthing, how much great it made me feel, I gotta go with Not Gonna Die for a number of reasons. When it starts out with that string intro, I mean, my God, do we have something insane. None of that, but the song before it kind of intros it and gets you pumped up for it. So it can either work with that or it can work on its own. It's just that good. It's a hard-hitting song. It kind of has this fast pace, which is really well done. Cooper's vocals in the refrain and in the the verse and the chorus really work out well because it's harsh and it just hits you hard. But not only that, when you look at Jen Ledger's vocals and how it mixes with John's in the chorus, but also when it comes to bridging the verses and the chorus together when it's just her vocals isolated, that is a well-constructed song, and it just makes you want to run through a wall and just get going. So, I love the song. It was on my workout playlist from the first moment I heard it, and I'm here for it. It is Skillet's best song. Alright, now time to rate the band on a scale from 0 to 10, and... I'm going to give Skillet a 6.5 out of 10. Alright, Panheads, before you freak out about me giving Skillet a 6.5 out of 10, which is one of my lower ratings up to the point I've done band reviews, please, please, please hear me out, because it is something that is more on my opinion than it might be yours. Now, again, I really do enjoy the band for when they go with a harder style of music on songs like Not Gonna Die, Feel Invincible, on Legendary, on Monster, on Rebirthing. When they do that and they kind of just weave those Christian overtones and Christian messages into the songs more, instead of being, you know, more cookie cutter Christian rock music, I think they do a great job, a fantastic job, and I wish they would do that more. Not that, but it's led into the Fight the Fury side project that John and Seth are doing, which also is one of actually my favorite side projects at this given point. If Victorious follows suit and does that, I think they could easily jump the band up a whole point in my mind, because if they're going to go with more of a hard rock style, I am, again, totally here for it. Not only that, but I love the energy they bring at their concert. I mean, I lost my shoes at their concert because I was in the mosh pit and I didn't have them tied tight, and I got them knocked off, and I got them back 10 minutes later, but I was shoeless for 10 minutes. It was actually kind of wacky and fun. But again, one of the things that really disconnects me from the band is they have a lot of the same style sounding songs, which can sound really bland at times, and it's a lot more of that Christian rock music, that Christian soft rock style, which is something that is personally something that just grinds at me, but that it comes from a lot of past experience with Christian rock music from when I was a kid in grade school and middle school, and it's just something that I just cannot get out of my head. So please, that's kind of the reason why. And it's not because they're Christian, it's because I just can't stand the music from my upbringing. But I do enjoy the band, especially the songs that they created that I went through, but I really don't like a lot of their other music outside of that, and I hope that Victorious goes in more of a hard rock route, and that could easily push the band up a point or two. I mean, we'll take a look at this probably maybe next year at this time. We'll revisit it, and I'll let you know what happens. Alrighty, that's it for me. Thank you for watching the My Song Today Rock 2000 Today band review on Skillet. If you think I did a good job, give me that like button. If you think I did a bad job, give me that dislike button. But whatever you do, comment in the comment section what you think about Skillet, because I want to hear what you guys think. Also, if you're not subscribed to our channel, hit that subscribe button. I think the subscribe button a little bit in the corner should get you subscribed really easily. And that bell icon to get notified when I release videos every single Wednesday, along with podcasts every single Tuesday here on YouTube. Also, if you're not following us on social, what are you doing? We got links in the description below for all of these. We've got Facebook. We run a lot of things straight off of Facebook. We've got Twitter. With Twitter, we will literally talk to you guys about anything and everything music. When we go to Instagram, we talk to you guys about music, ask you questions, do our Instagram live streams where we do ask questions head on, and our IGTV channel where we go behind the scenes a little bit more. Also, I did mention we have a podcast. Yes, it's called the Chord Progression Podcast. What I want you guys to do is listen to that podcast, because we talk more things about music, and we're able to have one-on-one conversations with you guys in more depth. So if you want to be in the podcast, there's a link in the description below for the podcast page, and you can just send us an email, send us a message, and we can get you on the podcast, and we'll talk music with you, whatever you want to talk about. We're also on Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes. Links in the description below for those. Lastly, if you have an Amazon Alexa and you're not subscribed to our Amazon Alexa skill, what are you doing? So go to the link in the description below, click on it, and click Enable Skill, and you'll be enabled to the My Song Today Rock 2000 Day Alexa skill. Now, to enable that skill, all you have to do is say, "Hey Alexa, play my song of the day." Alexa will say, "Playing your song of the day." You'll get a 5-second intro on the day from yours truly, and then you'll listen to the song in its entirety. Once it's over, it's over. You want to listen to it again, say, "Hey Alexa, play my song of the day," and boom, you can play it again for 24 hours. Once 24 hours is up, you'll get a brand new one that's picked by this guy, and it's a great way to rediscover old bands you didn't know or just forgot about, to listen to new music from bands you knew about, discover new bands, just feel nostalgic, whatever it is. It's a great way to start out your day, get to the middle of the day, end your day, and I'd really love for it if you guys would enable that skill and use it, because it means the world to me. This project means the world to me. Music means the world to me, and I'd love to have you guys on board with it, and I want to thank you for all your support. And that's it for me. This is Kevin from the My Song Today Rock 2000 Today YouTube channel. Always do the hat throw. Always end it with a see ya!